guys, welcome Sparkle. She's the new love of my life. Her mummy is called Lola, but the daddy, the white one, I've only had him once. Your daddy has made an appearance on this channel, so has your mummy, and now it's your turn. So guys, this is Sparkle. She's my dog now. I've had her Chit, so she belongs to me. She, even her collar says, call Nayna if you find me. She's a little bit of a madam. She wants to play fight in the middle of the night because I have to wake up to put her on the floor so she can wee on the pad, and she just wants to play fight all the time. To be honest, I think the highlight of her life is to actually just like bite my fingers, so I have to like give that to her because that's like her highlight. But she's so small. You're so small, baby. Look how small she is. I don't know if she looks bigger on camera than she actually is. Right, Rafs? I'm finished with her. No, with her, not with the video, just with her. I could have another in a minute, baby. Oops. Well, my voice totally cracked the other day on stage. Welcome back. I've been gone for a bit. I've been gone because of her, because I felt panicked. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a dog. It's like a baby. So I just kind of just like abandoned everything apart from my job to look after her. Now I feel a bit settled, and also I'm on holiday from work this week, so because it's half term in England, so the kids are all off school, which means I don't got a job because I teach kids in schools. I teach them music, and that's just gone actually so weird. Every other minute I'm quitting, this is not for me, but then every other minute I'm like, this is totally for me and I'm not going to quit. And then now I'm just like calm and I have no opinion apart from the fact that I'm excited to see them again, to see how their half term has gone. So it is going. Right, yes, you've guessed it, I came back to talk more about sex. To be honest, I made this plan sheet about 2 weeks ago and I just never did the video, so technically probably wouldn't have spoken about it today, but it's already had been planned, so I was like, let me just do this video. Stop banging her in sex, please, please, please. Wow. I suspect that some people just like what they like and they could do what they do, but I think I'm talking about the girl who doesn't know what she's doing, which is 95% of women, and maybe that number's actually getting smaller, thank God. So let's just say 90% of women, they're getting banged in sex. What? And actually, technically, it's not 90% of women, because I bet you 90% of men do not have sex like that. It's just a percentage of men who go like this when they're having sex, yeah? And a woman thinks like, yeah, this is passion. And then she's like, okay. So I can't talk for all women, but I can talk for the majority of women who are getting banged, who are not experiencing orgasm. Like, please stop doing it. Stop doing that. I think I was listening to a video and this guy was like a bit like bragging, and he was like, yeah, because you gotta just bang her, innit? You gotta bang her. And it's just this mentality of like, yeah, that's the thing to do, is to bang, and then like you're having sex in a good way because she wants to be banged. And I just felt so cringe, like, oh. But to be honest, all of us are doing that anyway. We think we know what we're talking about, we don't. I probably sat here so many times saying stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I think that we all do it. And it's just embarrassing that we go on about things we don't know what we're talking about. And then in the end, it's like, oh gosh, I was totally wrong. Like, and I don't like stuff like that. I'd prefer to just be right all the time and just to know what I'm talking about all the time. And I dislike very much that I don't have that perfection inside of my brain. Nope, no, don't. Anyways, nor do these guys who are banging in sex. So let's get on with the conversation, shall we? My experience here was a little bit, I don't talk to a lot of people, so I actually have no idea, but I'm suspecting that we are all very similar. So when I was being banged in sex, I think depending how much I like the guy, because if I like the guy, I'll just kind of like try to change positions, or I'll try to like, even in my politeness, I think I'm a little bit straightforward, and I'll kind of tap him like, stop doing that. But I remember one time, like, I wanted to feel his passion, and I said, bang me, and he was like, are you sure you want me to do that? And I was like, yes. And then he did it, and then I broke up with him after that night. And he was like, but you told me to do it. I said, yeah, but you treated me like I was some whore. He was like, but I told you that that's how I bang, and you asked me to do it. And I said, I don't care. You banged me like I was a whore. I was much more complicated when I was younger. I think now I'm simplifying my approach. I don't talk. I don't explain unless like, obviously it benefits you. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so apart from that experience where I asked for it, yeah, when people bang me, it feels like, have you ever had something that was sore on your skin, and then like you kept touching it even though it was sore. And it's like, ow, and it's making it worse. Like, that's what banging feels like. It's like it's sensitive, it's sore, and within like a few seconds of banging it, it becomes sore. So imagine minutes of it, and imagine half an hour of it, right? And it becomes sore, and then you carry on doing it, and it's like you have to endure. I could picture somewhere in my past having to endure the banging because this is what sex was. And if I could just get past this discomfort, I would start feeling the orgasm. Like, come on, Nayna, this is what sex is. Oh no. Guys, this is not what sex is, please. Okay, anyway, so then I'm like, yeah, get past the banging. I can feel something changing. Okay, I think it's just changing for the worse. Me trying to find this orgasm was hilarious for a very long time. Anyways, I think that was the only one time where I tried to endure the banging because I thought maybe the orgasm would come after it. It didn't come after it. It made it worse. I was really sore, and I said to myself after that day, nobody's ever banging me again. Apart from when I asked the guy to bang me. I think I was just being a bit of a, you know, the person who plays with the puppets and they're a bit like cheeky, because that's why I am sometimes. I'm like quite cheeky. Anyway, so I think I was just trying to like poke his buttons, like, yeah, you think you could bang, and just being like all immature, because why did I go through such an immature stage in my life? But I did. Anyway, so it just basically feels like you're being hurt. It hurts. It hurts. It feels sensitive. It's sensitive. It's like ah. So then after that, I just don't tolerate it anymore. If somebody starts banging me, I'll tell them to stop. So don't bang me, please. Obviously in sex you have to be a bit more polite than that because you don't want his penis to go soft, because obviously you need the penis to be hard. So you kind of just tell him to do it slowly, which then makes him aroused anyway, because you're like, oh, you want it like this, do you? And it's like, yeah, I do, but please just don't bang me. I'm so sorry. Anyways, I've got here a name of somebody that I slept with, and I've got dildo next to him. So what was I going to talk about? It was 2 weeks ago. Dildo and bleep. Don't even know what the connection was in relation to that. But maybe what I was trying to get at, which is what I'm gonna naturally get at this video anyway, is like, what is it that we're looking for when we're having sex? Why is it that you think you need to bang? What are we looking for? And basically we're looking for pleasure, and we're looking for the orgasm. We're looking for some explosion. And then maybe the man is like, I'm so sorry that I giggle like this, because I don't think people appreciate being giggled at when they don't know what they're doing. Unless like you fancy them and they fancy you, and then you don't mind them giggling at you. But if nobody fancies each other, I don't think people like to be giggled at. Anyway, so I think we're searching for the orgasm. So then we're banging, because like, I think that we become accustomed to like forcing things to get to where they are. Like, even if you're playing with yourself, you do it a bit faster. If you're wanking, you do it a bit faster, a bit more rigorous, because like, you want it to be quick and you want it to happen. So we've gotten into this like forceful nature of like making something happen really quick, which I'm gonna do a video about quickies like next week, because I'm really excited to talk about that. But like we got this idea of like doing something really quick and like yeah, quick. And I feel like that's where sorry, I think that's where banging came from, where so it'd be the same. Like, you know, if you're wanking really quick and you end up coming, if I bang really fast and quick, like, she's gonna end up coming. So I think that we're trying to achieve something with force, which maybe that's the small percentage of women who can achieve an orgasm with force, because they know what they're doing, and so then the banging doesn't put them off and it doesn't hurt them because they know how to be banged or whatever. But the majority of women, they don't know what they're doing, and so doing something like this, can you imagine like playing with a woman's clitoris really fast and really quickly, and she's never even orgasmed in her clitoris ever before, and you're there like this? Like, it's just not what it takes to create the orgasm. It has to be slow. You have to tease her, like I've spoken about many times in my other videos, right? So what I understood for sure with my dildo and trying to have an orgasm with the last guy that I had sex with was that I needed to be soft. It needed to be gentle, like the gentle push, and it had to be my push. It couldn't be his push. And actually, if his push, I think his push can like add to it, but it has to be gentle. It has to match me. It's so interesting. I feel like if I clench inside while there's a penis inside of me, I feel like that will start to build my orgasm, right? But then if he pushes a little bit as I'm clenching, and I know that he's trying to contribute to my sexual feelings, I think that it would just make it more exciting and more, I don't know, arousing for him to push with me. But if he overdoes it and he starts banging me, then that's not matching me. That's doing much more than what I'm doing. And what I'm doing is just clenching and tightening my insides to create my orgasm, which again, I've spoken about in previous videos. And I noticed that if I go round, yeah, so not in and out, up and down, however the pornos make them look like, or like dancing makes you look like, it's not that, it's round. And if I go round with my dildo or a man, which I've still didn't complete, then it starts to tingle. And so if you start to bang the tingle goes, it goes away. But if you're soft with the tingle and you're like building it up and it's slow and it's gentle, you're going to achieve it. And I don't know if you've ever had, like, if you're a woman and a guy is like playing with your clitoris and he's like playing really softly with it, and you wish that he did it a bit harder, and he doesn't do it a bit harder, but you still come, and it's not the best orgasm that you've had because you wanted him to be a little bit faster but harder, but he wasn't. He was too soft, but still you came. Whereas the opposite doesn't happen. If you're very hard, you don't come. But if you're really soft, you still do come, even though it's not the most enjoyable because there's not enough like pressure. But pressure compared to banging is two different things, right? Two different things. But the one thing to look out for, which is what I did all of the time, and now I understand it, is that if she tenses, like if you start banging her and then she like holds your shoulders, or she kind of like tenses like this, she cannot orgasm in that state. Nope, unless she's a trained orgasmer and she's been doing it for a long time and she knows what she's doing, and then like this doesn't put her off. But if she doesn't know what she's doing, this is going to completely, this tensifying is going to stop the orgasm from building. So if you ever see a girl go like this when you start having sex with her, she's not gonna orgasm. She has to be completely soft and completely welcoming, like yes, and then she has to give out a noise of like satisfaction when you touch her, right? But if she goes like this, nope, it's not gonna happen unless she's a pro. So I put here quick versus bang, and I feel like we need to separate the two completely, because going quick, it's different, even though that will be like so hard, like who can keep up that pace? Going quick and banging, it's making me angry. Why is this making me angry? I think it's because like maybe there's some people watching and they're like, I don't bang like that. I said, but a lot of people do though. Let me try not to be triggering. So there is like quickly, and then there's like banging with quickness. And I feel like the banging with quickness is what achieves absolutely nothing. And then the quick without banging is what might achieve something. If you're experienced and you know what you're talking about, which I want to talk about next week when I talk about quickies. So we have to separate it. The banging and the quickness is two different things. The banging hurts and it needs to stop unless she's asking for that and unless she knows how to handle that. And you know, some people want pain just because of they believe love is pain. And so then that's why they want it. And I'm at the age now where I'm starting to see that pain is not love. Jealousy is not love. Jealousy is actually fractured thoughts that poison your brain. I don't want to experience jealousy anymore. I don't mind feeling like I want to dominate you, and if we're in public, like you're mine, and don't smile at people too much. Like don't be too polite to the waitress, please. Just be normal, please. Don't, you know, like stuff like that I don't mind. I feel like that's like healthy jealousy, but not to the point where like I'm going home, I'm overly thinking about it, my heart is breaking, I feel like something is wrong. Like that type of jealousy, no thank you, no. So I'm presuming that the toxic masculinity is what brought up this like bangingness of like feeling like you need to be a macho and feeling like you need to get things done, get the job done right. And and I'm so sorry, I sound like I'm mocking here, which I probably am a little bit, but I don't want to mock people. I'm so tired of being a human. It's just like old. Like it's so old. I've been doing this for 36 years, it's just old. And you know, the man gets things done, but what I'm witnessing, like 100%, like there is no such thing as one sex gets it done. Like you need both. You need both. And I know that we like to say we're the bearers of life and we're the makers of life, but literally you cannot make a baby on your own. You have to have the male and the female. So I don't think that it's the man's job to do anything. I don't think it's the woman's job to do anything. I feel like it's 50-50. So no, you're not supposed to be the orgasm bringer with your bang bang bang. It's just this toxic masculinity that men are in charge of everything, and they're absolutely not. Like women are more skilled at a lot of things that men are not, and men are more skilled at a lot of things that women are not. And we should not be telling people where you fit either, because you yourself know exactly where you fit. If I am strong enough to build a house, why are you gonna tell me that I can't do it because I'm a woman with a vagina? And especially then, when I build my house, it's gonna be better than your house, and then you're gonna be like, I don't believe you, you didn't build that house, and really I did build that house. Anyway, so I feel like banging is just a bit of toxicity I don't know if that's a word. And the woman has also become accustomed to this toxicity, because I just feel like she kind of wants it a little bit. Like I wanted with that guy, and then I broke up with him afterwards because it hurt my feelings. I feel like we don't understand what passion is, what love is, what connection is, what any of these things are. We have ideas of them, and then we feed the ideas, and the ideas are incorrect. So the idea is that if somebody bangs you, that means that they're passionately having sex with you. Nope, that's incorrect. That's not passionate sex. That's abusive sex.
Oops.
Makes sense that we've taught that in this abusive world, but it's not correct. That's not how you have sex. And even with my jealousy with the waitress, I think that's toxic. I feel like my what's that thing called when you are possessive over somebody? My possessiveness is not it's not healthy. I think it's because I don't understand like how things work. Like how can, like I've been attracted to somebody who has a girlfriend, and not once in my attraction did I consider that he had a girlfriend. And then afterwards it's like, oh wait, what? You're taken. So I just don't understand all of that. Anyways, we're not talking about that today, are we? But I feel like toxic stuff is what we're craving because we're unhealthy and that we don't know what to crave in reality. Sometimes I choose words that is just so irrelevant, and it's so tiring to choose the incorrect words. And also, like, are half of these people who bang women in sex, are they trying to like punish her? Are they trying to like hurt her on purpose? Because if I was like banging a guy, I don't think I'd be hurting him, because it's a bit different for a man, because if you put him off, you'd know it straight away. Whereas if you put a girl off, you're only gonna know it after like, if you don't come, you're only gonna know after like half an hour, because if you come, you're never gonna know. But if you don't come, you're gonna start realizing that she's going dry. So it takes you longer to realize that a woman's been put off than a man, because the man's penis just goes hard, soft straight away. So if I was banging him to like punish him, I don't think that would work. But if I was banging him to think like, yeah, this is what he likes, yeah, I'm gonna bang him because this is what he likes. I don't know, I feel like I've been in situations before where I thought I was taking charge of something, but then for him to finish, he had to then take charge, which then means, because I've had also the opposite where I was in charge and he didn't have to take charge, and he finished while I was in charge, which means then that what I was doing was pleasing him to the point of completion of the orgasm. But for him to have needed at another time to take charge means that I wasn't doing something that would make him finish. So then he needed to make himself finish. So then I feel like these little things are telling you what's going on. It's like, that's not what they want. And what they want is what they ended up doing. So what I'm saying is that I could imagine like trying to bang a man and he's like, oh, this is interesting. But then he ends up turning you into a position that he wants when you're not banging him. And then he'll bang you instead of whatever happens. And then he'll finish in that way because you banging him is not working the same way that if he was banging you. Anyways, let's conclude this video, please. So we have to relearn passion and love because we've learned it through toxic traits and we've not learned it through pure traits. And I'm reading a book at the moment and it's just making me fall in love with love. And I'm pretending that I'm the main character of the story because she's quite similar to me anyway. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And she has this like love in the story. And it's just so beautiful. And the way that he's fascinated with her and the way he loves her is just so pure and so beautiful. And I forgot about those things because I'm looking at the toxic world. So I just feel like we see through the lenses of toxic traits. And so then we teach love, we learn love, and we experience love through those lenses. And so then we have to relearn what love is and relearn what passion is, and we have to learn how to read each other. Because like I have this trait, I don't know if it's to do with my autism, where like I have to squeeze things like really, really hard. And so then when I'm with like cute things, like, I just have the urge to like, so then I have to bite my lip a lot so then I don't squeeze them. And so then when I'm with my dog or with my cat, I kind of let it out a little bit more, but like I squeeze them a little bit, but not to the point where they cry or anything like that. But I also know that I have to control that, because from one moment they find pleasure with my, I don't know what to call that, with my harshness. They find pleasure in it. My cat loves it, my dog loves it, but from one moment to the other it could be too hard, and then I hurt them by accident, and it's like, oh no. So in one moment they were enjoying it, the next moment they were being hurt. So I feel like we really have to pay attention to what we're doing. Are you hurting somebody or are you pleasing them? And we should just aim to please them and never ever aim to hurt them. And we do this by speaking. And I think that like so many people are embarrassed to speak. They're embarrassed. And I've been fighting embarrassment for like such a long time that I just feel like I've done such a good job. Like I don't want to be embarrassed anymore. Like tell me I'm rubbish at sex. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I don't think I am though. I feel like we're just all a little bit embarrassed about talking about things, about seeming like you don't know what you're doing and that you want to learn. It's just so many things are coming in my head because first of all, I think that a kind person and a good girl and a good man, a kind woman, if somebody is trying to learn and they're trying to learn you and they look a bit vulnerable trying to learn you, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, can you teach me? I feel like somebody will love that, who has a good heart. They'll be like, oh, you're really trying and this is kind. Granted, I feel like that there's the opposite of that behavior where people are a bit mean and they're like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, oh, that puts me off, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, that puts me off. Immature people. So if you're dealing with an immature person who is put off by your lack of knowledge, and you don't know what you're doing and they're being put off by that, number one, okay, let's not settle down with people who are immature. So that's a good thing that you've been exposed to that, because you don't want to settle down with somebody like that. And number two, we have every right to tell people, to teach them, which I'm learning to do. Teach them, say, no, that's not kind, no, you shouldn't do that, no, you shouldn't judge me that way, no, don't be put off by me because I don't know what I'm doing. Like, teach them, tell them, even if you're not together anymore after that, if you break up, tell them, teach them, what you did is unkind, what you did makes me feel rubbish, what you're supposed to do, I think, is to make me feel empowered. Even if we're not going to be together, make me feel empowered, help me. I feel like we should be teaching people, tell them the truth of what they're doing, tell them the truth. But yeah, we have to relearn all this thing. What is passion? What is love? And I will conclude that on my last closing message. But first, before that, let's get onto the quote of the week. Sex without pain is like food without taste. I even put the name of the person who wrote this because I just want to put them on blast. That's not my language, that's the internet's language, sorry. But you see how toxic we are. Sex without pain is like food without taste. But maybe he's talking about sex without pain. Maybe he's talking about, but it's still toxic anyway, because you're saying that, oh, you must break my heart for me to want you more. And then like, if you break my heart and I want you and then we end up having sex, like it's gonna be a much more passionate sex thing, because of how much this and that. So it's all toxic. It's all toxic. So let's move on. Have nice sex. Just make sure you're reading the person's reaction. Just read the reaction. If they're intensifying like this, they don't like it. If they're absolutely still like this, they either don't know what they're doing or they're judging you, which means it's not the right time to proceed. Like, you both have to be like moving objects together and it has to flow and move, and if it's awkward, do you feel like you guys just don't know each other properly that much? Is that why it's a bit awkward? Because you just haven't gotten to know each other that much yet? But read people, read them, and take what you're reading as facts and do something about it. Do you know what? I think there's so much to relearn that I don't even know where to start, when I just don't even understand. But I have ideas of what I want, and I just feel like the innocence of passion is to just like have what you really desire, and that also desires you back. I keep saying that having like feelings reciprocated is just like the most euphoric thing ever. So if you have somebody who loves you back and you just absolutely desire them. And in the book, like, he describes like the way that her neck looks and how it curves and how she uses her hands and how her lips does this and her eyes does this, and I just forgot, to be honest, it wasn't that long ago that I was looking at somebody like that, but then I forgot about that because I'm just always occupied with like how weird it is to be alive. But I feel like that's like true passion and true desire, when you're actually so into somebody. I was gonna say obsessed with them, but let's just say into them like a lot, and you're like observing every single thing about them and everything makes your heart flutter, and then you just love them, and then they give it back to you and they want you as well and they're attracted to you, and it's just the most euphoric thing. So I feel like all of this innocence is what love is. And maybe across the world we don't promote that very much. Like, we promote like, oh, can you pay the bills? Can you be a good dad? Can you hold us down? Are you going to like stop me from having sex with you after like 10 years? Like, all of these things of like security. How can we secure this? And rather than looking at this like pure state of passion, of like desiring somebody, wanting them. And of course we're looking for who can pay the bills, because the world is just... I was thinking the other day, like, did God really tell you humans to create tax, to create money? Did God say, guys, create money, it's going to be better? Did God say that? According to the Bible, no. Actually, I don't know, I've never read the Bible. So of course in this world, we are prioritizing who can pay the bills and who can be a good dad, rather than prioritizing this chemistry of love and passion and desire that you have for somebody, and admiration. And also we have to learn about the brain and how the brain creates ideas, and we have to learn what position that takes in relationships. Like, am I supposed to use my creativity to imagine who you are, or am I supposed to use my creativity on myself but not on you? You know, where's the truth? Where's the manual? And in love, am I supposed to just observe you and take you for what you are, and not go home and make pictures about who I think you are, but rather wait? And that's what I don't like. I don't like all the waiting. Like, I have to go home and I'm not going to see you for another 2 days, and then I'm going to spend 2 days imagining things that are not even true. So I don't like all of this long stuff. Like, I want it to be back to back to back 100% all of the time, so then I can understand what's going on here and I don't spend 2 days imagining things at home by myself. So there's so much to learn about how to connect with somebody and how to do it correctly, so then it doesn't hurt, or it doesn't break off in a bad way, or things don't happen in a bad way. Because sometimes we could be infatuated with somebody, we could admire them, and then when we get to know them properly, it's like, oh, actually I don't admire you because I didn't know that you was an alcoholic before, and now I know you're an alcoholic, and the alcohol drives this bad stuff between us. And so you don't know people properly, and so then there's so much to learn of, like, how do you get to know somebody, how long does that take, and like, where's the education? And instead, once again guys, we're learning history, maths, RE, English, science, PE, French. Like, these are the subjects we're learning in school, instead of like, how do you maneuver your body, how do you maneuver your feelings, what does it mean, what do humans mean when they say this and that? Like, where is the emotional education? And we only are luckily born with it, and nobody's ever taught it. So no wonder why we're all just like suffering, cheating on each other. But like I said, you can have lovely sex, just please read people and at least talk to them. And if you're too prideful to tell them that you don't know what you're doing, then just like, don't tell them that. And I'll prefer if you be honest. Do it in a way that they don't know the truth, but yet you still are learning and you're observing the person. So you're doing it undercover, basically. You're becoming good undercover. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, right. I will be back hopefully next week. You never know these things. Yeah. So until next time, I shall be back. Okay, goodbye.